Alright, let's go ahead and hit this head on, address this. The nursing school entrance exam. The pre-test nursing school, I've hinted at it before. I've talked about taking it before, but I've never devoted an entire video to that test. So let's go ahead and do that today. Now, to my knowledge, there are two tests. To my knowledge, there are only two of them. There may be more, but to my knowledge, there's two. They are known as the HESI, or the HESI, or the TEAS test, TEAS. They also have other numbers or letters that can go behind them. After doing a little bit of research today, I saw that the HESI can be called the A2, the HESI A2. And the test that I actually took was actually called the TEAS-V. I really think it was the Roman numeral 5, but they called it the TEAS-V when I took it. I think it's the TEAS-5, but however it may be, I took the TEAS-V. That was my entrance to nursing school exam. Excuse me. So, what is this test and what's it all about? Well, to be honest with you, it is not necessarily about nursing. It is very much so about your ability to take a test, your ability to think your way through a test, and your ability to comprehend and understand the questions and the answers that you may be answering. Because in nursing school, you have questions where more than one answer is correct. So the TEAS test, which is what I took, or the HESI, give you possible multiple answers that are correct. You just have to figure out which one is the actual correct answer that the makers of this test are wanting. So, for instance, most of my test, and I'm not making this up, was about clouds and the phone book. I had to look up names in the phone book. I had to know which pages to look up on the index of the phone book. It was crazy. It was about the phone book, or how clouds are made. That was a lot of my test. A lot of it was math also. And I forget the exact number of questions per parts, but there was like I had DNA synthesis on mine as well, but it was like DNA synthesis, clouds, phone book, math, and might have even been a writing comprehension. I don't think there was, but there might have been. Anyways, not exactly nursing questions, just really the ability to take a test with more than one answer and pass it. Now, I scored just barely inside of the pass range. I want to say I had to have a 64, and I think I got a 66. And I don't know if that might be, it might have been higher or lower, I can't remember. But I remember I just barely passed it. Like, if it was 64, I got like a 66. And I was looking at the HESI today, and it scored a lot like how the old SAT used to be scored. I want to say it's like a 700 to 900 scale, something like that. I didn't take that. I've never taken the HESI. I don't know how it's scored or what, but I know that I scored, just barely over. My T score is like a 66 or a 68 out of like 64, something like that. Anyways, getting ready for this test, preparing for this test, I actually called my local library, my county library, and I said, hey, I'm about to take the TEAS test. And when I went to go register for my test, I got the numbers, like the activation code, or like the notification numbers, the numbers that you need to actually get into the test. I brought that with me to the library. I said, hey, do you have a book for this test? And I gave them the numbers and the name and everything like that, and they said, yes, we have this book, but you're going to have to drive all the way to Stokes County to get it. And it was like an hour away, and I drove all the way to Stokes County, and I got that book. I only had it for like 5 days. That's all I could rent it for, or that's all I could get it for. But I'll include a link to the book that I actually got from the library. I've told people about it before, but I'll actually include a link to that book. Now, this is only for the TEAS test. I don't know of a book for the HESI. I just didn't take it. But now, I took this book, I read this book, and at the back of this book, it had practice tests. And it also had answers as to why you may have missed this test, or why you definitely got the answer to this test. And it gave you rationale reasons to what the answers were. This was a pretty substantial book. It was a study guide for sure, and it was not the easiest book to read, especially working nights. So I read this book. I really think the name of this book is actually called it's like Your Way to the TEAS-V, or Your Way to Pass the TEAS-V, or something like that. Like I said, I'll include a link to the book. I'll probably do an Amazon page to the book, but I'll include it. And I read this book front to back, and I took that test, and I passed that thing. And it was not easy. And the TEAS is a monster, and I did not like taking it, and it just wasn't fun. The HESI, from what I've read, is the same format. Not necessarily the same test, but you're still going to not like that test, and it's going to be hard, and you're going to have to study. You're going to have to read books. I did see online something called HESI flashcards. I don't know what the HESI flashcards are, but that may be something to look into. As I said, I did not take the HESI. I took the TEAS. So I will definitely include a link to the TEAS book that I read, and I will... if anyone asks, I will definitely look into books for the HESI, but I personally don't know of any. I just didn't take it. I didn't need to know any HESI books. So definitely get a book no matter what the test is. Like I said, I got the numbers, the actual numbers. I registered to take mine at a community college. I got the numbers to my test, and I took that with me along with the name of the test to the library, and they gave me a book that matched up to it. So hopefully that helps. That test is not nursing related at all. It is not healthcare. It's terrible. I hope it helps. Thank you much.